Welcome to Hair 101, a podcast where you'll learn all you need to know about hair, color, science, and of course, the importance of the client experience. Whether you're an experienced stylist, just starting out, or have a curious mind and want to know more about your hair, this podcast is for you. I'm Nicole Manzer, salon owner, master stylist, and your host. I'm so grateful to share 20 years of my most valuable and timeless insights with you. Here we go. Hello and welcome to Hair 101 with myself, Nicole. Thank you for taking the time to be here and to listen to my insights and my education. It really makes me very grateful that I have a platform that I can actually help share my knowledge. So today we are going over the 4 categories of hair color. And I feel like this is really important to understand as a hairdresser, but even more important for our clients to understand. Because when we're talking to them, we tend to talk about hair color that they know what we're talking about. And sometimes they're too afraid to ask questions. So I really like to kind of dive in with this when I'm initially doing the color with my clients and make them understand kind of what their choices are. And the best analogy that I've come up with or that I've heard and adapted to my own philosophy is the relationship analogy. So I'm going to kind of dive into that one a little bit more when we get through the different types of hair color. So here we go. The first one is temporary hair color. So I like to call this my one night stand. Temporary hair color is fantastic if we want to kind of play with something new. We want a blue streak, but we have to get up for work tomorrow and we cannot look like we've been partying all night long with blue hair. So temporary hair color only coats the cuticle layer. It's not mixed with any developer. It lasts approximately 1 shampoo. Now, if you have bleach in your hair or you're blonde, it might take a few to come out from the hair, depending on how porous your hair is. And then it also does not alter the natural melanin of the hair, meaning it doesn't change your pigment. It does its job, it goes out. So these you're typically going to find in sprays, gels, crayons, hair chalk. And that's what the temporary hair color does. It's just fun for a night, but as soon as you wash your hair, it's gone. So it's my one night stand. The next one up from that is the semi-permanent hair color. So this I like to reference as dating. We're just kind of testing the water here. We're just seeing if we like it. There's not any commitment, but if we wanted to commit, we can. But if we want to get rid of them, we can do that too. So semi-permanent hair color is not mixed with the developer. It sits on the hair for approximately 4 to 6 shampoos. It has large direct dyes. And if you need to know more about direct dyes, then listen to my podcast on how hair color works. We dive into direct dyes a little bit more there. It coats the cuticle of the hair, and using heat will help lift the cuticle open, lodging the larger dye molecules under the cuticle. So if you've done semi-permanent color a few times, or if you're using a semi-permanent product that is like a blue or a purple or pink and you want it to last a little bit longer, you can kind of push it into the hair a little bit more by using heat, which essentially opens up the cuticle and then kind of helps shove it into the cortex of the hair just that little bit more. So this is our dating. We kind of have a relationship, but we can get rid of it when we want. So then the next one is our demi-permanent hair color. So this I find is like our boyfriend, girlfriend. It is a little bit more serious. We have a little bit more time invested into this relationship with our hair color. We like them. We want to keep them around. We're really happy with them, but we're just not yet ready for a commitment. We're not ready for, the big M marriage. That can be a little bit scary. So demi-permanent hair color penetrates into the cortex just slightly. It kind of sits right on the edge. You mix it with a low volume developer, typically like a 5 volume, which is about 1.5% up to about 3% hydrogen peroxide, or 10 volume. Lasts approximately 4 to 8 weeks, depending on the hair's porosity and also depending on how often you shampoo your hair. So if you're only going to shampoo your hair once a week, chances are you're going to have that color in there for about 12 plus weeks. But if you shampoo your hair every day, it will probably only last you about 4 weeks. So it's good to kind of take that in consideration as how much you shampoo your hair. It is deposit only, and this is the big one. We cannot lift the hair when it comes to demi-permanent hair color. Because we're only using a 5 volume developer up to a 10 volume developer, we are not lifting the hair color. Remember, the hair needs to be over a 9 pH in order to become permanent hair color, and with such low developer, and typically there's no ammonia or minimal ammonia in this, so we're not going to lift the hair color. We're not going to be able to lighten the hair. It has gray blending ability so that we're able to kind of help blend in the grays a little bit. I find that the grays can look like highlights in the hair, which can be really nice. It uses large direct dyes, and some demi-permanent products have a combination of direct dyes and intermediate dyes. And if you need a little bit more about the dye information, please visit my podcast on how hair color works as well. So demi-permanent hair color it can give you some beautiful shine to the hair. It can really enhance what the hair naturally has. I find that it helps kind of calm down any of those wiry gray hairs that kind of stick straight up. And it just gives the hair just this really nice freshness to it. So if your client's looking for a change, but they're not looking for something that, they have to come back every 6 weeks, or they have to make a commitment with you financially or just time, this is the way to go if they kind of want to do something about their gray hair. Or even just their hair color, they want to switch it up a little bit. So then we have our permanent hair color. I like to call this my marriage because it's a commitment in order to have it. You have to go to the salon regularly to get your hair retouched. You have a demarcation line that you have to deal with every few weeks. It is a long-term commitment, and it can be a financial commitment too. And so permanent hair color penetrates fully into the cortex of the hair. You mix permanent hair color with 10, 20, 30, or 40 volume developer. It permanently alters the natural melanin of the hair, which is your natural pigment. It has gray coverage ability, and it can lighten or it can darken the hair. And you need to cut it out. There is no going back to your natural hair color once you have permanently colored your hair. We can get as close as we possibly can, but for it to match your natural color, for it to match the natural highlights that we have in your hair, it's very, very difficult. So just a quick overview of what we just talked about. The 4 categories of our hair color is that we have our temporary, our semi-permanent, our demi-permanent, and our permanent hair color. And these products, temporary, you're looking at a spray or a gel or a chalk. A semi-permanent is usually just from the tube of color right into the hair. You don't have to mix it with anything. And the demi-permanent and the permanent hair color, both you have to mix with a developer or something else along those lines. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tidbit of education today, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for taking the time to learn something new today. I hope you apply this knowledge and keep developing your craft. If you enjoyed this episode, please tell your friends and colleagues about us to help us grow and spread the knowledge. You can also leave us a great review. Get in touch with me at nicole.manzer on Instagram with any topic suggestions. I'd love to hear your classic industry insights and share them on future episodes. So please contact me with your tips to make sure you include your name, where you're writing from, and remember, I'm here for you. All the links you need are in the show notes below. Subscribe on your favorite podcast listening app and tune in next time. Let your inner beauty shine.